Today we're going to be making a Smash Ultimate tier list, but we're going to delete the B button. Starting off in F tier, the worst character by far if B was banned is Olimar. You start off with those 3 Pikmin and that's the only Pikmin you're going to get. If those Pikmin die, you lose 4 aerials and all your smash attacks. So good luck winning with forward tilt. Next up is Bayonetta. She loses her infamous combos off of side B and up B, and her recovery is disproportionately nerfed without Witch Twist. You get some combos, but cleaning up a stock seems way too limited to put her anywhere higher than F tier. Lastly is Steve. You aren't allowed to mine or craft, which is kinda like his thing. You start off with wooden tools, and once they break, you're kinda stuck with your fists, which is very embarrassing. And also, you don't get your walls, you don't get your nil combos, you don't get minecart or anvil. You do get some smash attacks and down tilt, but that's really it. Alright, going into E tier, these characters' game plan orbit around the B button in a significant way. Min Min without B is a half order of Ramen DLC. You lose your B arm and stuck with One Punch Dragon. Without Ram Ram or Megawatt, Min Min becomes way too simple to be considered anything above E tier. Lucario already has it rough, and taking away Aura Sphere and side B makes it even more impossible for him to get anything started. Like, he still gets Aura, which is fine, and back air is still like a big move, but it's still pretty rough for Lucario. Inkling is surprisingly a lot lower than I thought. At first I thought that no special moves meant that you get 1 tank of jabs per stock, but a big strength of Inkling is how far they can go with edge guarding with their flexible recovery due to Splat Roller and Super Jump. And I think that justifies the Stark drop. Zelda is going into E. All her specials are just so important to her standard game plan that taking those away just guts her. It's taking magic away from a mage, but she keeps lightning kicks and up air, which is fine, but it's way too much magic taken away. I'm sorry, but Wii Fit Trainer is just an incomplete character without these special moves. No deep breathing or header, and what do you really do? Their hitboxes are super awkward with weird blind spots, so it's really hard to put Wii Fit Trainer anywhere above E tier. Plant Gang has it rough. You're losing Patooey, you're losing your Vape Cloud, and you're losing Neck. Plant's normals aren't too wild either, so it makes sense to put them down here. I mean, you have Up Smash, like that's pretty good. And lastly is the Animal Crossing reps, Villager and Isabelle. These two heavily rely on special moves to be a full character, Villager with rockets and Isabelle with vertical rockets and a fishing hook. Without those, they really have a slingshot and that's it. You could make a case for Villager because he has access to Bowling Ball and his turnips up air and down air are more random because they could either be 1, 2, or 3 turnips, which determines power. Isabelle's turnips are always going to be 2, so like you could kind of make a case for that, but I would just put them both in E tier for now. Now we're going to move on to D tier. Let's start this tier off with the boys that never stop blowing up. We have Snake, Banjo, Duck Hunt, Toon Link, Young Link, Link, Mii Gunner, Bowser Jr., and Hero. These 10 all share the similar reliance on bombs in their game plan, and I didn't feel like listing them separately. They all also have like this one move that's really good, but I don't think it was enough to rank them any higher than this. Pac-Man does use Bonus Fruit and Hydrant a lot, which destroys his zoning and confirms, but he still has some decent frame data and up-close combos, so he's not completely gutted. It just seems that Pac-Man would have a really hard time. Same thing with Ice Climbers, I feel like they'll just have a really tough time without the B button. They lose common desync setups which make them terrifying, but their combo game seems to be normal without it, and I'm sure an Icy's main out there can show me a 0 to death combo without the use of a B button at all. Dr. Mario and Ganondorf are on a similar boat here, like everyone loses something with this tier list, and it's not that losing their specials does a lot to them, they just aren't that high on the standard tier list to begin with, so it's hard to justify putting them anywhere else higher. Incineroar loses all of his iconic special moves, but his standard attacks and regular grab combos are still really good. He drops a D for becoming a slow moving combo machine. Staying on the Pokemon train is Squirtle. Combo game can be nasty and racking up damage is this guy's job, but cleaning up a stock is where he struggles, which prolongs the game. And the longer the game is, the more chances Squirtle can lose, so it's not looking that good for him. He's also super light, which is a really bad weakness to have. Robin loses her spells, but unlike Zelda's Mage Without Magic story, Robin keeps the Levin Sword, so Robin can still kinda scrap with the magical sword. Still kinda bad though. Now we're gonna be in C tier. Marth was already in C tier, so it makes sense for him to stay in C tier just because he doesn't lose a lot. He kinda just turns into a regular swordie. However, someone that does lose a lot is Wolf. Wolf drops down to a C tier because he loses Blaster, which is a top 5 projectile, mostly because of its transcendent priority. He also loses Side B for flashy stocks. Besides that, he keeps most of his bread and butter combos, so it should be fine. Diddy Kong is also going to join the C tier gang. Monkey Flip and Banana themselves is a 50-50 mix-up that makes him so strong. Taking those away, Diddy Kong can still get most of his combos, but it's getting in which seems like the biggest issue for him. Mii Brawler without the best projectile in the game, or Thrupper, now they're just an honest punch and kick character, so C tier they go. Samus and Dark Samus without their incredible zoning game initially wanted me to put them in D tier, but considering that they have a long reaching grab, great aerials, and solid survivability by using Zair to recover, they deserve to be in C tier. Mewtwo also goes in C tier. Losing Shadow Ball and Confuse are massive nerfs, but my thinking here is that Mewtwo normals are pretty solid and the delayed double jump he has could help a lot with recovering, assuming that the rest of the cast loses their main recovery tool as well. Pyra is an amazing character that usually doesn't need specials in her game plan. However, her standard game plan usually starts with Mythra doing all the damage work first, then switching to Pyra. Without access to swapping, Pyra struggles in early percents, but then excels at cleaning up stocks, so C tier here kind of felt balanced. The big boys Bowser and Zard are dropping in C tier as well. Bowser mostly due to losing his side B, which is one of the best command grabs in the game, and up B, which is one of the most infamous out of shield options in the game. Zard is here similar to the Pyra reason, where racking up damage isn't really their strong suit, and without help from their fellow Pokemon, Charizard kinda struggles. Cloud loses so much here. Side B for easy combos, up B for an easy out of shield, and all your limit moves. And even still, you have a beautiful back air, anti-air up tilt, up air and up smash, and nice hair. C tier makes sense. Little Mac's highest tier placing in his life. If everyone's recovery sucks, then Lil Mac isn't that bad. However, losing the KO punch mechanic, up tilt up B combos, and side B as a burst option, it still kinda sucks. But Lil Mac has the best ground game with his tilt attacks, smash attacks, so I think he'll be okay. Luigi in C tier? Oh my goodness. He doesn't get his 0 to death combo anymore, he doesn't get his frame 1 down B combo breaker anymore, and he doesn't get a random 10% chance misfire anymore. He still gets his grab, which can both rack up damage with down throw combos and end stocks with back throw off the edge, but C tier is a pretty nice spot for him. Sheik. Most combos Sheik has doesn't need specials like drag down up air to up smash. However, I felt that Needles and Bouncing Fish are major stakeholders in helping Sheik, so I think this works. Mii Sword Fighter. He has some really strong aerials, down throw is a nice combo starter, and a down tilt that's -6 on shield. Wait, what? Regardless, most of Mii Sword Fighter's strengths are sourced from the specials that they pick, so like Tornado, Shuriken, Chakram, Hero Spin, Power Thrust, all of that is out the window, so I think C tier is where you're gonna stay. The Belmont brothers are back in town and they're going in C tier for sure. Even without the plethora of projectiles, Whip is an amazing poking tool that keeps a lot of opponents at mid-range. Also, Whip can help with tether recoveries, which is a big plus in this thought experiment. Last but not least, we have King K. Rool. Tell a King K. Rool player to not throw Crown and Ball and they're gonna explode. You keep your belly armor, which is really good, and most of the combos still work well, but that's really all for the big boy. Even just Crown, I feel like Crown is just such an important part to K. Rool's toolkit that I can't justify anything higher than a C. Alright, let's move on to B tier, starting with King Dedede. So to me, King Dedede is kind of like the sword fighter of the heavies, even though he wields a hammer. Although he loses mostly Gordo and Inhale, his Nair, Fair, and Up Air are really great, and his multi-jump allows for an actual recovery when most of these characters won't have one. Alright, next up is Rob. Laser and Gyro heavily nerfs this robot, but his normals are all super strong, and he keeps his simple confirms from grabs like down throw to up smash, up tilts, and nairs. And if that fails, you just kind of spam back air and hope it works. You also keep that down tilt that's like just atrocious to begin with. But yeah, I think Rob does fall down a lot from the regular tier list, but he's still pretty good without his special moves. Ivysaur is the highest of the Pokemon Trainer crew just because Bullet Seed isn't really a real move to begin with. He does lose Razor Leaf and Vine Whip, which is a lot, but Ivysaur's plan doesn't really change too much. You got well-spaced forward air and back air, you got down throw up air to clean up stocks. Squirtle can rack up damage but can't kill, Zard can kill but can't rack up damage, and I feel like Ivysaur is nicely in the middle, being able to rack up damage and take stocks all by himself. Pichu hurts himself with each special move, so I would be doing Pichu a favor by banning the B button to begin with. Most of Pichu combos and neutral game don't require specials, but Pichu isn't too crazy to begin with, so B tier is like a small upgrade for their placement. Donkey Kong Bonanza for B tier, I guess. DK specials kind of feel like nice perks for his kit rather than like defining features. You still get your 2 back airs from 1 short hop, you still get your cargo throw, and you still keep that crazy dash attack. Like most of DK's special moves are kind of just like style points where you could kind of do the same thing with just your normals anyways. Byleth for B tier. Without specials, I think you'd want to focus a lot more on just poking with Fair and Bear, or just throw out a bunch of nairs because that move is just really good. You don't use neutral B that much. I guess you could use side B a lot, and up B can be used for like combos or like recovering, and down B is more of a meme, so I think overall you're not losing a lot as Byleth. Mithra is only in B tier because she could not recover at all, and cleaning up stocks would be rough without Pyra. She still would be the speed demon everyone fears, and all of her combos would still be the same. It's just losing specials takes away that flexibility that you used to have. Bird up. Falco time. His combo game centralizes around up tilt, grabs, and some drag down tricks, not around his specials at all. He also has a big double jump that's really good to help with recovering. However, losing the laser to provoke others is kind of a bummer, so I feel like Falco B tier and call that a day. Is this weird? Is putting Rosalina in B tier weird? I mean, without specials, you keep your star buddy next to you the whole time and you still fight together. Luna can still take random hits for you, and you keep all your standard combos, like you don't use special moves for any combos at all. Even without specials, I still think like a big weakness of Rosalina is that she's tall and she's light at the same time, which is really not really the best combination. It's really the worst combination you could have for this game. Let's just keep her in B tier. Alright, Captain Falcon's going in B tier. A lot of your stuff comes down to down throw, falling nair, stomp, and up air, and he kind of cleans up afterwards. Not to mention how weird up smash can get. Sure, you lose a command grab and 2 burst options, but Falcon seems pretty fine with no B button. And you could kinda outspace people with back air. I think Falcons like to do that anyways, so yeah, you're fine. Lucina is just more consistent Marth, so she'll just go 1 tier higher than Marth. And you see, some people think that Marth is like not that bad compared to Lucina, which is fine, but I think in this thought experiment where we're taking away the B button, we need to consider how consistent your normals are, and Lucina having a more uniform sword naturally makes it so that she's more consistent, and that's just my justification for that. Mario time. Fireball is really important to approach, and up B is that closer for that iconic ladder combo. Cape and Flood are funny, but not that crazy, so with all that in mind, Mario will still beat you up when he gets up close and personal, and has many other ways to end stocks. Because he's losing these versatile special moves, that makes him bump down to a B, but he could still mess you up. Wario loses the ability to drive, chomp, and fart. I still think he would be B tier. Combos are still intact, down tilt is gross, and the amazing aerial speed that he has really helps overall. Zero Suit Samus. No more nair flip kick, no more down smash up B, and no more spacing side B. You still have your speed, you keep falling nair as a combo starter, and you get Zair as a recovery, which is amazing. But the stark loss of these moves overshadow these strengths, which puts her in B tier. Lucas, he also loses his magic, but he keeps his snake, which is a very important part of both double jump cancelled Zairs and tether recovery. And I'm pretty sure his optimized combo routes are just ridiculously good, so let's just keep him in B tier for now. This is a technically without the B button they're S tier, but if special moves are banned, they are B tier. Terry, Ryu, and Ken. They don't need the B button at all for command inputs, so in theory, they are unchanged to this fun tier list. Terry is ranked here a bit higher because he can perform those go comeback moves, Buster Wolf and Power Geyser, when Ryu and Ken don't really have that luxury, assuming that we're banning all B special moves. Let's start off A tier with a big group. We got Kirby, Jigglypuff, Ridley, Meta Knight, Pit, and Dark Pit. I truly believe that having access to multi-jumps makes a really good case to be a solid character without special moves. It acts as a built-in recovery that helps you survive, which is extremely important in any competitive game. And I'm sure when you're playing Smash for the first time, having that extra jump for your recovery helps out a ton. And all of these characters don't need special moves to get work done. Kirby gets down tilts and aerial combos, Puff can throw out 5 fairs in the air, Ridley grab combos are devious and that back air is meaty, and the pits are just so versatile to begin with. Greninja is next up. Greninja's shining moves are dash attack and down tilt, and the combos afterwards is all normals. He doesn't need specials to make it work, so he's still really scary without the B button. Mega Man, to my knowledge, is the only character that can fire projectiles without the B button. Actually, there's Isabelle and Villager. Is there anyone else? Anyways, this natural zoner helps turn Mega Man into a specialist for this tier list that makes life harder for anyone else in the cast. Also, because no one has a real recovery tool, that down air is going to be really good for spiking others. Sephiroth is kind of like a cool Min-Min, and with no more special moves, I think Sephiroth will become the distance demon that Byleth wishes she was. Stabbing the stage can help with recovery, especially in Kalos, and you still get the one wing buff mid-match, which also means an extra jump and more other damage modifiers, which is great for you. So yeah, A tier. I like Chrom, and I think Chrom is a good character. And the reason why people don't think Chrom is a good character is because of his bad up B. However, because everyone's recovery is going to be bad, that makes Chrom better than Roy. They're both just A tier because I think Roy can kill pretty early. You have jab back air, you have raw forward smashes, you have down tilt to tech chase, you have a lot. Ness. PK fire at every skill level is used in a high capacity, but without that, Ness still has amazing aerials, amazing damage output, and amazing edge guarding with either aerials or even yo-yo. Plus, Ness has the weird double jump and a great air dodge to really help with recovering, which is a very important factor for today. Shulk is a tough one to rank, just because I don't feel that confident in my Shulk knowledge. The main question is, does Shulk need Monado arts to be a functioning character? It's an interesting concept where I see arts as like a cherry on top mechanic where you don't need it to work, it just helps Shulk out. But there's that other line of thinking where Shulk needs Monado arts to be a good character, because Buster, Shield, Smash, all of them have their use. I personally think it'll be fine, so he'll go in A tier, but if you have a different opinion, let me know. Ike is really just losing his recovery, but everyone else is losing their recovery, so it should be fine. Ike is still the great Nair user, simple yet effective combo routes, big meaty hitboxes to clean up. If anything, you could argue Ike to be in B tier, but because of how huge that sword is, A tier seems great. Corrin is also an A tier. Those combos are just more from Nair and Fair and not from any special moves. I think it's kind of similar to Donkey Kong where those special moves are kind of helpful, but they're not really necessary to play Corrin at all. But I think Corrin is more than okay without the B button. Who's that Pokemon? It's Clefairy. You don't get any more T-Jolts, no more Under the Playground strategy, and no more Thunder Spikes, and this character is still A tier. You still get your Nair loops, you still get your up air bridges, and you still get those back air chains, and Pikachu is still really short like a pancake, so you get low profile a lot of stuff still. If anything, when you take away the B button, you're removing Pikachu's camping ability, and now you just have an electric rat running at you all the time, which is terrifying. Sonic the Hedgehog. A lot of people like to complain about Sonic's 3 special moves where he turns into a blue ball, and without those, Sonic is still an amazing character. Up air is auto-cancelable out of a short hop, forward smash is disgusting, and the raw speed that Sonic has means that he could still outrun anybody. He also has a really good air dodge, which again will help a lot for recovering. Joker in A tier. Very similar story to Sheik where he doesn't need the special moves to do cool drag down combos. However, when we delete the B button, Joker still gets Arsene over time, and you could still get those really disgusting hits like that career-ending back air. The move that you're missing out the most is going to be your neutral B, because that move is just really good, but without that, Joker can still get a lot of stuff done. Fox McCloud. You lose laser and recovering really, and everything else is the exact same. Fox will do the same thing he's been doing since the game came out. How can I connect this move to an up smash? And the way you answer that question comes from normals and grabs, so Fox is A tier. We are now in our S tier portion, and this is 100% ordered. Yoshi is an S- tier. Yoshi loses a command grab and a projectile. Side B doesn't even count as a special move, and Yoshi still keeps all the combos he needs, and the ever so important double jump armor that he has to protect the recovery, that's huge for this. That double jump armor kind of allows you to recover high, which not a lot of people can do without a special move. Next up is Palutena. You lose 2 projectiles, a counter/reflector, and a teleport. That doesn't matter because you have all the aerials you need to win a game. Nair combos, fair to poke, bear to beat out every other attack, up air for heavenly juggles, and whatever you use down air for. I'm so confident that you could win a match with Palutena only using your aerials and grabs. You will have to learn how to tomahawk well, but once you get that part, you'll be golden. Peach and Daisy were already S tier characters and they still are. You maintain float, and because of that, you keep all these amazing combos, more recovery routes, and more options. And in any fighting, or in any game really, if you have more options, you probably are doing a lot better than your opponent. You lose Stitch Face, which is a bummer because I really like turnips, but you don't need that. Mr. Game & Watch. You would think that losing up B out of shield would nerf this piece of paper, but he keeps down smash, up smash, nair, up air, and grab. These are all considered some of the best moves in the game, and the worst part is that these moves have little risk to them with such high reward. Because these moves are all so strong, why wouldn't Mr. Game & Watch just use these moves? And I know that you've seen a Game & Watch main use down smash 3 times in a row and it went unpunished. Why is up smash -6 on shield? Why can down smash connect to forward smash? Why can nair connect to nair into an up air and just juggle you for eternity? That's just how good Game & Watch is. The second best character with no B button is Sora. I'm almost certain that you, the viewer, know what nair loops and fair loops are, but if you don't, it's this. A consistent high damage combo from normals and a nice floaty jump to support recoveries is really all you need. Sora's special moves are extremely helpful too, with a variety of projectiles and one of the most far-reaching recoveries with up B and side B, but losing those special moves doesn't detract from Sora's lethality with the A button. And the best character here is Kazuya himself. He doesn't need laser, he doesn't need side B, and he doesn't need down B. All of these unique Tekken moves, including Electric Wind God Fist, the tripping move, the spin to win move, and the command grab with the legal knockback, they all don't need the B button at all, so Kazuya is kind of untouched at this point. No tier list is safe from Kazuya. Hey you, look at all the cool art my Discord members drew. Submit your art and drawings in my Discord channel to get a chance to be showcased. You'll have better odds if the art is Smash or video game related. And I have other cool videos that you could watch too, like me trying to get a win streak in Smash, so check that out too.